Start.
And we're live. Just
Live.
3 Jobbers is back for the Monday Night Raw review, the Memorial Day Monday Night Raw. Just 3 Jobbers. Just three jobbers. Just 3 Jobbers. Oh man, God, I love that. I live for that. I live for it. I am gassy right now. Sorry to start that, but speaking of gassy, man, Monday Night Raw that had the smoke. I'll tell you what, we wanted the smoke, and Monday Night Raw presented us with the smoke. Wow, what an episode.
They really did. They brought it. All right. This Monday Night Raw, I'll just say it was hands down the best Raw since the Performance Center Raws have started. Hands down. And for me, it's the best Raw of the year so far. I have to say, like, up and down the card, there was meaning to everything. And I think this is what's so important, what WWE kind of lost out on for a while and what it seems like they're bringing back. And it's that every single segment, every promo, every match had purpose. There was a storyline being affected. There was a storyline progressing and going to a new point. And I think on top of that, every single promo, to me, sounded more and more natural. And I tweeted this from Just 3 Jobbers, our Twitter during the show, is that everybody seemed like they were actually talking, from the heart. There was Apollo Crews after he won his championship. I mean, we'll get into it, but he sounded like he was just really speaking like naturally, like how he actually talks. Nikki Cross was, going off in her natural voice, which I just loved. We'll get into all of it, but this show really, really impressed me. So overall, Moose, do you agree? Did you love the show as much as me?
Yeah, I think it was since one of my favorite Raws since I got back into wrestling about 1.5 years ago. Like, it was just so fluid. Like you said, everything made sense. Like, it wasn't choppy. It wasn't like – it didn't feel awkward. Everything felt organic. And I think having that crowd there too, like, that was really I think that just helped it out even more. Like,
yeah, I mean, that was the big change is they brought in the Performance Center or people from
the trainees,
Performance Center trainees. They had them out in the crowd. They added the plexiglass, which we talked about a little bit initially in our first video. There's some big changes. Obviously they've kind of taken a note from AEW, which was working really well for them, and it was smart. It was smart because even though what I will say about the crowd, first off, I love that they were social distancing the crowd, 6 feet apart. I think that was really smart, just for looks. People looking at WWE.
Yeah.
If you had that many people in the crowd, I think it looks better than AEW having them 6 feet apart, sticking to those guidelines when they can, when they don't need to be close to each other in wrestling. So that was really smart. The plexiglass looked really cool, and I think is really safe for the performers as well. The crowd noise and the applause definitely didn't seem maybe as natural as AEW's on Wednesday Night Dynamite. But I thought even though it probably was them just cheering the faces and booing the heels, like, didn't really matter who was. I think that it still adds to it. It doesn't even it made it even better, even though it seemed a little bit less natural than a regular crowd would, which was it worked for me. So the crowd worked for you as well, Moose.
Yeah, I did. I like you said, it was kind of like I think the crowd was a little gimmicky, like just cheering.
It was.
It kind of reminded me of like a SmackDown versus Raw video game, like the way the crowd. Some people were like going like this and
sure,
stuff.
Because the video crowd is just kind of programmed to do the same thing.
But I think as long as AEW keeps killing their weekly shows and their pay-per-views, WWE is going to keep showing out like they did on Monday.
I truly think that Vince is not scared, but I think he knows he's got to improve his shows.
It puts a little fire under his butt, you know what I mean?
It did, because, I mean, you can tell performers in AEW, they have more free reign on the mic, to speak. They don't have a script, they're not everything isn't boiled down to one or two things they have to say. So I think Vince is seeing that, I think, because the promo game really improved. So we'll get into every little thing, but kind of starting off, Kevin Owens being back is just so big. Starting off with the Kevin Owens show. He's so
funny,
good.
Too.
He's so funny. And again, it's the little details. It was when Natalia came out and he grabs the KO show signs and he drops them to the floor. He's like, I just want to protect, like, he wants to protect them. So, I mean, it was little things like that, which throughout the show they were doing. I mean, it was a solid segment to open the show with all the women. Asuka is just the MVP. She's so damn entertaining
she's so awesome. And Kevin Owens, like, I can see why he's your favorite. Like, he's actually gotten like my top 4 or 5 wrestlers because he's just amazing.
That's awesome.
Like, amazing superstar. But yeah, Asuka is really killing it right now, and And I really
Yeah.
love what she's doing. And at first, when I first got back into it, I really didn't like her, to be honest. But she's really has grown on me like these past like 5 to 6 months, and I'm really glad that I can say I'm a
Absolutely.
fan of her now. So
I am too. I mean, I've loved Asuka since her days back in NXT, but when she hit the main roster, they didn't really know exactly how to use her. I mean,
yeah,
Vince has struggled with foreign talents before, obviously, that are limited English speakers.
hmm
So there was a lot of learning curve for Asuka, but I think there's a argument to be made that she's been the MVP of the Performance Center era, of the COVID era for WWE. There's
oh
an
yeah,
argument to be made. I don't know if I necessarily absolutely agree, but there's an argument to be made.
hmm
She's so entertaining. She looks like she's having a blast every single show. She's so energetic. She's emoting so well. She's loud. She looks fun. Half the time, more than half the time, you have no idea what she's saying, but she's saying it so like
Convincingly.
emphatically and convincingly that you're just in love with it because it's
But
funny, and she's just looks like she's having a great time.
but I also like how she always like chimes in a few like English words that you could tell exactly what she's saying. So then you kind of get
Of
it,
course,
you know.
Yep.
And
yeah.
so I think that's what really makes her character too, because I
Yeah.
feel like she can speak really good English, but that's just her.
She can
character.
she can speak English, but I think she's definitely more natural, and she can emote better when she's not trying to speak as
Yeah.
her second best language. When she's speaking her own language and try me in like English words, she definitely you can tell she's just looks more natural. And so we don't have to go like straight down the line. So let's just hop into the women's triple threat match because we're talking about Asuka.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy. I'm so happy that they didn't have Charlotte Flair win. I thought
I agree.
there for a second they were going to, but I'm
100%.
I was like, because did she just get? I'm sorry we're critiquing her. She's a great talent, but she's just super overexposed right now.
I mean, I was annoyed at Triple H back in 2009, 2010. He's compared her to him.
Yeah.
He was
she's
in
the Triple
everything,
H.
You don't need to be wrestling on 3 shows. I think she needs to pick one and just stay there.
He's a legend. She's going to be a legend.
Yeah.
We're always going to appreciate the moments that we had watching. But at the same time, I don't like eating chips for every single meal. I love eating chips, not every night, but yeah.
With that being said, though, I think that she was a good addition to the triple threat. I think that without her, if it's just Natalya versus Nia Jax, it's not as good.
It was just a fun match. Good match.
It was just a really, really good match.
Yeah. I think that's a really good spot where they were on top of the power bomb, and then Natalya came in with the power bomb from the suplex.
Yep. Oh, yep. That was both of those spots were great.
The power bomb and
and the whole time Asuka just was so entertaining. She was she was almost MVP of the segment because she was on commentary. She was so invested in every little thing. She was like, Natty, no, Natty, Charlotte, Nia. She was like she cared about every single person. It's like she's like an empathetic person. It's such an interesting character.
And her look is so unreal. Like her coat that she wears with like the red belt,
and
it just
the stuff down her cheeks, the paint down her cheeks. It looks sweet.
You know what? It's due, and it was gonna happen. It just proves that like Asuka was clearly one of the most talented ever wrestlers in NXT history, and she was gonna. Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you're just gonna get it. Doesn't matter. Some people don't make it on the main roster. She's somebody who it just was gonna work because she's gonna make it work. She made it work. I love Asuka. She's gonna maybe put the best match every night, out there. And what is now Asuka versus Nia Jax? At Backlash,
that's set for
Backlash.
The greatest show.
That's the greatest match ever.
Yeah, the greatest wrestling match ever.
Oh my gosh,
that Edge promo.
Oh,
the Edge promo.
I had chills,
literal chills. That was literally my tweet. It was so intense. So intense.
My eyes are watering just talking about it.
I mean, that was just the
promo was good for it too.
Up and down the whole entire show, the promos were just fantastic.
Yeah.
And that Edge promo just got me really did get me more excited for this match. I know it's going to be good, but
I don't know if I have it, but all I'm going to do is try.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
that acting. That acting, baby.
Can do. That's true.
Vikings.
Yeah. So I will say, so Nia Jax won. I like the progression they're doing with Natty's character with their backstage segment. She took a phone call from her husband Tyson Kidd, TJ, and
at least
I don't know what they're doing with it. It's something. That's just all I'm saying. Like there's meaning, so much more meaning to everything. They're building a storyline. I'm not sure. I would not mind Tyson Kidd coming back and maybe
Davey Boy Smith's son. What's his name?
I don't know, but I think that he could maybe
He just signed a contract to the MLW, so I doubt that. But sorry, keep going.
That's just what I was talking about earlier when you had to step away, Kevin, was just that there was meaning and there was storyline progression and everything. And Natalia taking another loss and having that moment where she said she just had a slip up last week in a temper tantrum. I think it definitely seems like it's leading to maybe a big heel turn, which she's really never had a huge heel run.
I mean, that's a lie. Her best title run was when she was a heel.
When was that?
When she was on SmackDown.
See, I don't know. Maybe I forgot.
Sorry, Max. God, do your homework next time.
I'm just terrible. Yeah, no. Anyway.
I'm kidding. Sorry.
All right. So next, let's talk about the United States title match here.
All the fans are thinking to themselves, wait, is there inner conflict within just 3 jobbers?
I am actually really mad at Kevin, but we're going to handle it off the air.
Yeah, off the air. Yeah, okay. Well, then.
Off the record.
No.
Yeah.
All I got to say is Apollo.
Yeah.
That was one of my first times actually fully seeing before he, he had his mini push before he got his injury or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was my actual first true match I watched of him, and he's so crazy athletic. Like the standing moonsault, the standing
shooting star press.
The
combo of the two of them was so sweet, and I tweeted this that their first match was so entertaining. One of the best matches I think on Raw without a crowd was that match until the end when they kind of did the injury ending.
Weird, yeah.
And it was really great to see them actually get an actual ending and have Apollo get that victory. His first championship in WWE, NXT, or WWE. I'm just really happy for him. You could tell how happy he was, fighting back tears in his promo after. Really great moment.
Good promo, man. It seemed like. Do you think WWE is finally? Do you think Paul Heyman kind of convinced Vince, hey, give him bullet points. Don't just because that's very natural. That was a very good promo by Apollo. That's the best one I've seen him do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you were kind of we touched on that briefly, but okay. I definitely thought, to me, it seemed everybody seemed more natural, that they were able to speak their own voice more. So I think there definitely could be something there.
And I think it was cool during that match when they did the switch to Angel Garza being interviewed, and I think that kind of I don't know. I thought that was really cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was something different.
Did you guys discuss Angel Garza yet?
No, we haven't. I was. Why don't we just get right into that? So that was the Apollo match. Really, it was a good match, and I'm really happy for him. He's defending it next week. He's defending the championship next week on Raw. They announced he gets to choose who he defends against. So they didn't announce who yet.
Okay, all right, interesting.
But so
Kevin Owens.
I doubt it. So let's get into Angel Garza though. He against Kevin Owens. Angel Garza attacks Kevin Owens, attacks the knee pre-match, and pulls out the upset victory over my boy. In his first singles match back, Kevin Owens takes the loss to Angel Garza. I'm split here, Kevin.
Kevin Owens, amazing seller.
He's a great seller. That's the one thing. And I'm, as sad as I am to see my boy lose, I have to realize that he's been healed for so long. He's a face now. And the faces
does this hurt him? This doesn't hurt him.
It doesn't hurt him. It doesn't hurt him.
No.
And the faces need to get beat down to have that big win and have those big moments. And that's just something that I think I need to get used to with Kevin in a different role, which I love him now as a face. I think he's so good in either role. And I think Garza, this is the biggest win of his career. It was huge for him. So
Garza, overall, he needed a win too, because I don't think he's won a singles match on.
He probably has, but it's just not a significant one. Nothing that's memorable to us, obviously.
Right.
I can't think of it. So it's a storyline progression. It was it was from last week. They did the tag team match, and I just think it's
which I like.
Big for and I think it adds a storyline out of Kevin that he got screwed over. He was attacked pre-match,
but I agree with you there, Max. And I also think that this could lead into him versus Angel Garza having an amazing 20-minute match without
absolutely,
because Angel Garza is amazing too.
I said this to Kevin after the match, that when those two are allowed to actually go at each other and have the full match that they can do, it can be amazing, and they can really it can maybe even if Kevin Owens gets the win, that match could even mean more to get Angel Garza than getting the win, because he has the win now. If he can show that he can go with Kevin Owens for 20 minutes, if they build that to a pay-per-view match, I have no clue if that could even make the card back. Who knows?
And clearly Vince, I think, sees the most out of Angel. I think he does see the most out of Angel Garza.
He definitely does.
That's a huge
he was brought
win.
up so quick.
So quick.
And put with Zelina,
you can't. He just has that natural charisma that's oozing off of him. Sorry if oozing is a weird word, but it's
mouthwatering.
It's mouthwatering. That is gonna be our first shirt. Is it's mouthwatering, and then just 3 jobbers.
Yeah. Moose, I think Moose. Did you like that tweet I made? It was like Kevin Owens' first match back. It was somebody like mouthwatering, like.
Yeah.
It was the GIF. I loved it.
It's the when the guy when Ortiz gets his head hit in that bell and him going
yeah. So,
but guys, Seth freaking Rollins.
Let's get into it.
My god,
let's get into the Messiah.
And I told Max this.
What I'll say.
We were talking about this last week.
Oh, yeah.
The Messiah, like I told you, because so it stems from there was a tweet. It was a
tweet. It was like, what was your favorite? The Architect or the Messiah? Who was your favorite?
And Max said the Architect.
I said the Architect.
And I thought, okay. I thought to myself, that is a good point. But if you were to look at the Architect 3-4 years ago and say, look into the future, this is what he's going to look like. Seth looks like a stud. He looks the part. He's being a great leader. He sounds the part. And he is now leading 2 guys who I think are the future, and this is the best thing. God, Absolutely. They were doing nothing. Like, this is so smart.
Absolutely,
it
was a really, really well put together tag match to get the win over Humberto. You know, it was fun. The pre-match promo was really good. Seth was great, but the star moment. This was the moment that really solidified the Messiah for me, where I can see where he is. You know, he keeps talking about Rey Mysterio, how he used to be sacrificed. You know, there's those biblical references, kind of the Messiah, obviously. Mm-hmm. The hostage moment was just so tense and so insane. And Seth had the control of everything there. He had his boys holding the eye of Humberto, and then they threw Alistair. Alistair's in the ring with a chair, and he's like, "Whoa! Don't you dare move, Alistair! Don't you dare move!" And he had conviction in his voice.
Yeah,
and you could just tell. You know, he was in control of everything, and it was so well done.
Because you can't do that in a big arena.
Don't make me sacrifice Humberto too.
Yeah,
and he was like,
so smart.
I love how he kept looking down at the mask too, like to symbolize Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, holding the mask.
So gold.
Yeah, I mean, Seth he's doing great right now.
I know
I'm excited to see where it goes.
This is not really about Seth, but I thought what was super cool about that match was when you know how Alistair does his little flip in the ring. And then
Humberto did
and he stood up like next to him. That was sick.
That I was telling Kevin, I love Humberto. I think he's got a great look and he's great in the ring, but I love that move that he does when he does the flying salt. He how he spreads his whole body and he gets so much air. It just looks so great.
I just feel like him. I think he's just one of those superstars that he really just needs to find his role because right now He's a great wrestler in the ring, but I just wish, there was more to him.
Great point.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy watching him, but
it could be worse right now. Just to try to defend Rey Mysterio, it could be a worse spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think working with all these talent, working with Aleister Black, working with Rey Mysterio, Seth, it's gonna do nothing but help Humberto and have him be more confident in his voice and in his wrestling. So. Yeah, another great segment,
It'll be good for Ray's last few months on contract with the WWE because I think Ray this has been good, a good run for Ray. I think he needs to, I think the space needs to open up for Ricochet. Sorry. Sure. That's all I'm saying. Prince Puma.
Yeah. So,
is Ricochet not because of social
main event? He's on main event. No, he
was on main event. Yeah. Apparently, his main event match was phenomenal. I've heard that he showed out in main event. I haven't watched it, but I heard people say
who watches main event.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
I saw it on network, and I was like, "What is this?"
But he's such a star. I hope he can come back.
So what announced for next week was Aleister versus Seth, and also Seth is hosting Rey Mysterio's retirement ceremony, which they dropped kind of at the end of the show. Going to be interesting where they go from there.
I like that they're just doing something with Aleister too. I didn't make that point, but Aleister's finally kind of doing something after a year of just knocking people on their asses. He's finally, that moment, Max, a few weeks ago when he just actually Moose messaged us in the chat
backstage.
He just beat the hell out of Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
He's finally getting his time to, have a story. So, I mean,
I've always
where it goes.
I've
Sorry,
always
Moose?
said I've always said Murphy and Alistair are the future. Like I've said this when I was even like a wrestling fan. You know what I mean? Like when I was just getting back into it, like those are the two guys that really caught my eye, and I was like, yeah, these two guys are really need like a big push.
I
I
hope
think
they have another match. I really do hope they have another really
that
cool
match at TLC was an amazing match too. You know,
Yeah, that was. Holy crap, I forgot about
hard
that.
hitting knees all the time.
All right. So moving on, I think there's two more big points. First, we'll save the MVP VIP lounge in the main event with Drew and the Lashley stuff for last. Now I want to talk about the tag team title feud, which last week I was a little disappointed with how they did the match. I wasn't liking that they were kind of doing the teasing, the Iconics breaking up. The Iconics came out. Some people think they're still teasing that Billy Kay's going to turn on Peyton Royce, but I thought they did a great promo, maybe one of their best, where it wasn't relying on being snarky heels. They were just confident, saying that they need their titles back. They're the best damn tag team, the best tag team in the whole women's division, and I thought that was great. But what's even better was Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross coming out.
Yeah.
And Nikki Cross going off.
Yeah.
Going off. How she had no one, and Alexa Bliss was the only one for her. I mean, that was absolutely Nikki Cross's best promo.
It was real. It was real.
This is just another point of of wrestlers allowing themselves or being allowed to maybe just show their real voice, and she killed it. I thought she did absolutely amazing, and it added more character to her and showed how her and Alexa are, how their relationship has defined Nikki's her time in the main roster. I just think I'm caring about every feud on Raw. That's just the big thing. Obviously I love the Iconics, so I'm gonna care, but I didn't really care about Nikki and Alexa until this. Nikki made me just really buy in, and it was just so well done. It was just up and down. Everything in the entire show just made me care.
Even the Iconics too, because I've never really had much experience with them. This was like honestly my first time like seeing them.
Probably,
perform.
yeah.
And so like I don't know, like I didn't even know them, and I got their story. I understood like what had happened to them and everything when it was like my first time practically seeing them perform. So
absolutely, and they're so good.
Job.
This,
yeah.
Hopefully, it leads to a pay-per-view match, and I think that could be a really good match. So that was that segment, and I
mean, it was entertaining. That was the best. That was it was just a good promo. Didn't seem like it was too scripted by any means. It just seemed like go and show your emotions. Give us the truth.
Absolutely, man.
I'll take that, man. Again, it's just a storyline. I hate the Raws of 2013, 14, 15, where just I guess they're gonna be in it. Well, even today, still sometimes, but like it was good.
But like when you were when you were out doing what you're doing, me and Max were kind of talking what you said about AEW kind of putting like a fire under Vince's butt and like getting him, I think
it has to be.
Raw is going to keep getting better and better just the way it is, and I think that's so awesome.
And I think I also think Vince, because of the XFL thing and just the world, he's just kind of like, you know what? Why not? Why not? We're already losing in the ratings so bad right now. The ratings are so bad right now. Why not just do this? So, yeah.
Yeah. So I forget there's one thing we probably should talk about, the anything you can do. We can do better challenge, the continuation of the storyline. There's been pretty cringe moments in this, but
this was the best one.
We'll agree this is the best one. This one had me laugh a lot. I really did laugh a lot. It wasn't great still, but when they were on the golf course and Ivar had the divot and he had like a 3-foot surrounding the ball of divots, and he hadn't hit the ball yet. Was just so funny to me.
Or when he pulled out the leg out of
in the mini golf, he pulls out like the cup and the chicken leg, and then the gator. I mean, there were some really fun moments, and then like he hits the ball and hits some random guys. They're trying to get away quick, and he just breaks the golf cart. I mean, there were some funny moments.
They're being handed shit, and they're turning it into shit fondue, which is good.
Yeah.
That's all you can really ask for with it. Because
next week
bowling.
Next week. I mean, just keep having it be over the top.
Consistently entertaining.
It is. Probably it's not the best thing that they could do to have them feud, but it's something. It's different than everything else.
Right. Yeah.
And you know what? This week I was entertained. I was sports entertained. So
I was sports entertained as well.
I'd much rather have them, do that. instead of like having like random matches every week. You know, it just changes it
but
up.
also to add, so they have a little backstage segment to set up the bowling for next week, and then MVP and Lashley come and set up the main event match, the tag team match. So like that's what I really liked is they came out and they kind of
it's just so fluid. Everything was fluid.
Exactly, like they were like, that's a joke. Like you guys need to be like taken more seriously.
Like there wasn't 30 different creative guys maybe trying to do something, like trying to create a show or something. Yeah,
absolutely. So let's get into all this. So the VIP lounge with Drew and MVP. Attention to detail, Kevin. Attention to detail. Back in February, Drew McIntyre was on the MVP lounge, and he hit him with a Claymore. He didn't really unprovoked. Drew McIntyre was a beast. It was when there was still a crowd.
It was after Royal Rumble, right?
That's when MVP
Royal Rumble.
MVP wanted him to join his circle.
He did. Yeah,
that's right.
And MVP said after that moment, he knew Drew McIntyre was going to win the title, but he also knew when Drew McIntyre was going to lose that title, that MVP was going to be behind it and he was going to be responsible. And I thought that was so smart. That attention to detail, man. That's why he wants Lashley. He's trying to get Lashley to beat the shit out. I mean, like,
again, shout out to W. That was so little, but like
you have to give props.
It makes the world. Yeah,
it really does. And like,
and then Drew comes out saying, "Where is he? Is he under the ring? Is he backstage?"
Yeah, I like that Drew came out
badass.
He came out just tossing the everything, like tossing the couches. Like, God, it was just really fun segment. Ended with Lashley coming out because Drew was, I don't know, Lashley comes out and then Drew hits MVP with the Claymore. I mean, great spot there. Pulls MVP out. Sets up the main event later. So let's get to this. So the main event tag team match. The Street Profits versus MVP and Lashley. Moose, tell me what you thought about the match overall, the finish of the DQ finish, and overall thoughts if that was the right move.
I think I enjoyed the match. I really enjoyed Street Profits. Montez Ford, just so athletic, and I just think he's just an amazing talent. I watched it. But the DQ finish. What was that?
So this is where I'm pretty sure everybody's confused. I think at the end of the match, MVP was the legal man, and Lashley came in when he was illegal man, put Montez Ford in the full Nelson, which I like that he's getting over. And the ref said,
he's the one
who
broke the Master Lock Challenge. He was the one that broke the Master Lock Challenge back in 2006.
Wow.
The only one.
Interesting. So
that is kind of funny. Yeah.
And then the ref was kind of like, "Come on, Lashley, break it up." And he counted to 5, and then he called for the bell. Everybody was saying that Lashley.
I thought he tapped out. I thought Montez tapped out.
So people were saying that, but I was pretty sure that it was a DQ, that he just came in illegally and they ended the match. That's what I thought.
It just all kind of happened so fast. That and then Drew came out. I was kind of like
that was the shining moment for me though, was Drew McIntyre come out in the pull apart brawl. Kevin, this is what we wanted.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
we've talked about Lashley and McIntyre, how this feud could really bring out to the grit and like the intensity of these two monsters.
And
this main event spot, was it everything you wished for?
Dude, because for a year and a half, 2 years, however long that Lashley's been here, he has not been able just to find that right guy. He needs, and you know what? I think him and Drew are friends outside of this. And Drew one thing that Drew has the ability to do is make his opponent better and to bring the best out of him. Because Drew is a guy where Seth unfortunately wasn't that guy he tried to be, but Drew is a guy where you just believe the conviction, just the way he. I just think he's like it's almost like, Bobby, this is your last shot. You wanted your chance to get to Brock Lesnar. They're not going to give you a shot at Brock Lesnar if you can't do it with me.
I think that dude that commented on our Twitter had a really good hot take as well about Lashley lasting long and then Brock returning because of that, lasting longer than Brock.
Sure. Yeah, and like
good point.
Yeah, so I'll get into this, but I think you're so right there, and I love how Drew, he's saying, I want the real Lashley. I want the badass Lashley, the one that was in MMA, that was beating fools down, the Lashley from Impact. Whereas Drew Galloway versus Bobby Lashley for the Impact World Championship.
And he won. And Bobby won because he was a better character.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a better character somehow.
That's the thing, is that they're adding so much more legitimacy to Lashley, and this Drew as champion is just great. I mean, this feud, while I was a little bit hesitant, I knew their Impact background could add to it because they had that experience together. But MVP has been great with Lashley, bring him together, and now having a little that now also introduced Lana a little bit during the show. Having a little
I like that they're not just
there.
like going away from that though.
Yeah,
that's good that they're they're just gonna end it. At least it's not like we just forgot about Lana being the husband or the wife.
And that intensity between their pull apart finish, having all the NXT guys come and kind of hold them apart and have them just keep beating each other up and breaking and like it was intense and it got me jacked for this match. I mean, I think it's gonna be a great heavyweight match. Yeah, Moose.
Can I make one point before? I do want to say this too, is that luckily Bobby Lashley is having it's lucky that the crowd is WWE wrestlers right now, I think too. I don't know if this would be able to go over as much if this was in a crowd like us, because of the way WWE was presented in such a crappy way over the last 2 years. I don't know if the crowd would buy in, but because of the fans there this week and them cheering and booing and doing the right things that Vince wants to hear,
it
kind of sways our opinion. I think
it does.
I think that's why I think that partially helps. If I was watching them and the people were
I don't think they could do this. I don't think they could do this feud. I think it would be a lot worse if it was with a real crowd, because without the crowd,
when the crowd comes
really,
back, though, when the crowd comes back,
they're going to be their opinions are changed because
exactly.
Lashley's a badass heel now. I mean, he's not the joke. So yeah, absolutely. So Moose, I'm just gonna try to bring up what we were talking about there. But yeah, there was going back to our tweet, there was a guy who said that he didn't want to see Lashley. Let me just make sure I can get this stuff.
And if you want, you can give a shout out too.
Yeah, shout out. His name is DKH, Demon King High. That's his name. Yeah, so he loved all the Drew stuff, and he just said he hopes Drew wins in the end. I agree, but I said I think it's just the feud is made here to elevate Lashley, to show how big of a star he can be. And his idea was that they should have a good 25-minute match. MVP comes out the next night and hypes Lashley, saying that Lashley lasted longer than Brock Lesnar did at WrestleMania. And, Drew gets the win. Bobby looks strong. And then Brock is provoked to return and maybe have a feud with Lashley.
And I agree.
Maybe? Winner gets a shot at Drew, maybe?
Maybe at Extreme Rules in between, the winner gets a shot at SummerSlam. I mean, who knows what they're going to do. But
and that's why
gosh. MVP, Bobby Lashley, Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar. Give me that promo.
Absolutely.
I agree with that too. I agree with that too, because at the MVP lounge at the beginning of the show, Drew solidifies how he beat Brock in 5 minutes. He's like, I beat Brock in 5 minutes.
I love that. I made it into WrestleMania. I beat Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes. That was so badass. Yeah, I mean, just throughout the show was just so great. It was an amazing Raw to me. Everything was progressing a story. The matches had purpose, and the matches were done well, and they progressed the storyline. There's even the silly stuff with the Viking Raiders was done well. I'm so pumped.
I'm so pumped that AEW Double or Nothing is dope. Friday Night SmackDown was dope. Monday Night Raw is dope. Like, what more can we ask for?
And now we have Wednesday night. We don't know what's gonna happen tonight.
We have the Wednesday Night Wars. We got Mike Tyson. We got a battle royale.
The bro versus and then
Angle is the. Oh yeah, there's also. We could talk. What a great night, and we can maybe talk for a minute before we have to end this show. But it looks like we're the Bro podcast. We're a Bro podcast. The Bro can be coming to SmackDown. That's what everybody is saying.
Yes.
This is his,
champion. The next.
I mean, if AJ Styles wins, what a first feud it would be for the Bro Matt Riddle to face AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title. What a first feud that would be.
Gosh. And he's legit. Fox wants legit guys.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody can make it, if somehow, I don't know, there's no way WWE can screw this up unless they just, for some reason, Bro, I just think he's such a likable guy.
He's money, dude. He's so money. He's funny, but he can be legitimate. He's great in the ring. He's got the legitimate, fighting style background. I mean, he's a star.
Fox wants that. Yeah, he's gonna be the guy that should have came out the first night of Fox instead of that Dominic looking guy. Oh, what's his name? Cain Velasquez. Yeah, everyone thought it was Dominic.
See Cain Velasquez, who's released now. What a weird thing
Yeah.
that whole was. I mean, that's going to be one of the most forgotten things in WWE ever. I mean,
He just shows up to Saudi Arabia or whatever, fights Brock, and then
I just want to say, I want to say this too, man. Like, it just, if you guys were to look back, and I always bring it back to that episode, was it 2019, January something 2019, where the WWE said, hey, we're not going to be, you guys are going to dictate what happens. You guys are going to help. We're not doing our job. I really think that they are, for years, they weren't able to look themselves in the mirror. And I think finally they're able to be like, okay, we didn't do this right. We haven't been, this isn't perfect. And but at least they're admitting, exactly, self-reflection. There is a lot more good going on right now than there is bad. And that is something that I don't think that WWE has had in a while. And maybe, the ratings are lower. That maybe, everything going on, but like the fact that we are having a loaded SmackDown with so many stud stars, and then Raw is becoming that show where it's like, what happened back in the Attitude Era. Everyone was going to WCW. Raw needed to be the show that brought new stars. Raw is back to that now. They're bringing in new stars. We have potential future Viva la Raza. We got Angel Garza,
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens,
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins is the best
Lashley.
he's been. Lashley's the best he's been.
McIntyre
is the absolute star.
Yeah, and then you got SmackDown. We got SmackDown in the Intercontinental picture. We got AJ Styles, Shinsuke, Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, Sheamus,
Elias. Then you got the main event. I mean, look at the main event. We have The Miz and Morrison, who are great together. We've got Braun Strowman. I mean,
Bray Wyatt, the Fiend.
Bray Wyatt. I mean, there's so much going on right now in WWE. I'm excited to see where everything goes. So
I'm very happy. It's just, there's a lot in a world right now where there's a lot bad crap going on. I'm just saying WWE for once, and I commend WWE, AEW, Impact. I commend everyone doing it, because right now it's something that I truly forget what the hell is going on, and I'm just happy about it.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to next week. Rey Mysterio has his retirement ceremony hosted by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins versus Aleister Black in a singles match. Mm-hmm. Apollo Crews is going to be defending the United States title against a partner of his choice. And also Charlotte Flair is taking on Asuka, champion versus champion match. So,
hey, really everybody, watch NXT tonight. Everyone watch NXT and AEW tonight. Yep. Another great night of wrestling. Guys, this is Just Three Jobbers, another episode. We're finished with this, and you know what? Follow us. I forgot to say on the last video. Subscribe to us on YouTube. It's now finally Just Three Jobbers. I fixed that. I figured it out. And then our Twitter is also Just Three Jobbers as well.
Just Three Jobbers, the number 3.
With the number 3.
Yep. You can follow me on Twitter at Max_Zwak.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then Moose, I know yours is
super long. I need to change it, so bear with me for a couple of minutes, and the next episode I'll give you the new contact info.
I'll give it anyway. It's Mustaf, MOUSTAF 915-66418. That will be changed.
That is his social security number, if you're wondering. It's very great. Hey guys, thank you guys again. Wrestling is back. Wrestling has been a lot of fun, and you know what? It's not even better about it is I get to talk with you guys. So, really appreciate it. And let's have a night.
This has been Just Three Jobbers podcast.
Bye. Love you guys.